You know, it's been absolutely mind-blowing, especially this past year. The demand for XRP has just exploded. I mean, seriously, look around. There are so many more people watching XRP right now than we've ever seen. And there are way more buyers jumping into XRP today than at any point in history. Dude, the XRP hype train has gone completely off the rails these past few months. Like, we're talking rocket ship to the moon levels of excitement here. XRP just smashed through some absolutely bonkers price levels that had everyone's jaws on the floor. But here's where it gets spicy. A massive chunk of XRP believers are screaming new all-time high because they're totally throwing shade at that $3.84 peak from 2018. Their reasoning? You literally couldn't touch those prices, couldn't buy, couldn't sell, couldn't do anything. It was just some wild overseas glitch that nobody could actually capitalize on. But honestly, I still stick with that all-time high myself. XRP is absolutely nothing like any other altcoin out there, and I mean nothing. After everything this coin has been dragged through these past few years, man, it's just in a league of its own, totally special. But you know what's wild? Even today, there are still tons of people out there trash-talking XRP. XRP sucks. XRP isn't performing. XRP is this. XRP is that. Oh look, it's still at $3. Oh no, it's back under $3. Guys, we're sitting pretty at $2.97 right this second. So I was scooping up XRP way back. We're talking like 5 years ago when this bad boy was sitting at under 30, even 20 cents. And you know what? XRP is absolutely crushing it right now. We're still looking at over 400% gains in just the past year alone. This thing is still an absolute beast of an old coin. Super bullish territory here. But alt season hasn't even kicked off yet. We're literally just getting warmed up right now. If you look at XRP over this past month, it's been doing this whole consolidation dance. Over the past year, we're literally watching this beast pull the exact same move. You know, that classic consolidation dance it did when we absolutely demolished that high back in January and surfed it straight through to July. But here's where it gets spicy. We're getting bombarded with these absolutely insane updates for XRP in the entire community ecosystem. And speaking of updates that'll blow your mind, boom, fresh off the press from Ripple on the 19th, they just dropped this BDAX showcase that's got everyone talking. All right, guys, so here's where things get really exciting. BDAX isn't just any random company. They're actually one of only 4 licensed crypto custodians in all of South Korea. Pretty exclusive club, right? And guess what they're doing? They're rolling out rock-solid institutional access to RLUSD, XRP, and a whole bunch of other tokenized assets through Ripple's custody services. Now, when we dive into what Ripple's telling us here, a couple of key things jump out. First off, we're talking purely institutional clients here. This isn't retail stuff. We're looking at the big players who need to execute their digital asset strategies at scale. And the ultimate goal? They want to supercharge the institutional digital asset custody market while pushing innovation and growth across the entire APAC region. BDAX is teaming up with Ripple Custody, and this is honestly pretty exciting stuff. They're basically giving institutional clients in South Korea this super regulated way to access digital assets. But wait, there's more. They're also providing complete support for tokenized real-world assets, which is huge in South Korea's crazy, fast-moving crypto scene right now. With Ripple Custody backing them up, BDAX is literally positioning themselves to dominate this whole new financial revolution we're seeing unfold. Let's talk about the massive impact we're seeing here. So first up, and this is huge, BDAX is literally the first custodian in South Korea, letting institutions actually transact and hold XRP ledger native assets. Like, that's groundbreaking stuff right there. Then they launched their entire institutional digital custody platform in less than a month. Less than a month, people. And they're also the very first VASP licensed custodian in South Korea to fully integrate Ripple's institutional custody stack. And yes, before you ask, this absolutely includes XRP. And yep, RLUSD is part of this deal too. So listen up, because BDAX is literally making history right now. They're the only, and I mean the only institutional-grade digital asset custody service in all of Korea. Like, think about that for a second. Being crowned as South Korea's first certified and regulated custody solution at the institutional level? Bro, that's not just impressive, that's straight up revolutionary. It screams dedication to innovation and unstoppable growth. But here's where it gets spicy. Players like BDAX are diving headfirst into this space right now. We're witnessing the birth of something massive, guys. This is our moment. The big leagues are finally waking up and going all in. Now hold up. While we're diving deep into all this crazy stuff, we've got to talk about the demand side of things. Because honestly, this pattern we're seeing, it's everywhere, people. Like, if you hop on Ripple's website right now, there are literally so many case studies just like this one. Now, I know what you're thinking. Okay, but this is just Ripple promoting themselves, right? And look, I'm going to keep it real with you. Yeah, for the most part, this is all coming straight from Ripple. It's their website. They're obviously going to showcase their own customers and highlight exactly what these companies are using Ripple's tech for. That's just smart business. Most of Ripple's custody clients, and custody is massive right now, they're not messing around with old school traditional assets anymore. Nope. Everything they're building is focused on tokenized assets. And let me tell you something. Tokenization is about to be the biggest game changer in all of crypto. I'm calling it right now. But here's the plot twist. When you actually dig into Ripple's tokenization page on their website, it's basically one giant love letter to XRP and the XRP ledger. Like, they're not even trying to hide it. So when we're talking about Ripple custody moving forward, I genuinely believe this is going to be absolutely huge for the XRP ledger and XRP itself. Demand is about to explode, and I mean fast, just from what Ripple's pulling off with all these clients they're working with. But wait, that's literally just one piece of the puzzle here. So what have we been diving deep into these past couple weeks? ETFs, my friends. Take the Osprey XRP ETF, for example. We actually covered this one, remember? This thing absolutely crushed it with $24 million in volume. I'm talking way beyond what most people even dreamed was possible. And it absolutely shattered records. We're talking about the highest single-day performance record for all of 2025. That's the kind of insane demand we're seeing for XRP ETF products right now. Now, here's why I'm bringing this up. There's this major announcement too. Let's rewind to earlier this month. Brad Garlinghouse dropped some serious news about CME Group. According to CME Group's own data, XRP futures contracts just became the fastest ever to reach $1 billion in open interest. And we're talking just over 3 months. That's another massive piece of evidence showing just how crazy the demand is around XRP right now. So look at what we've got here. 2 major players giving us the same story. We've got this spot ETF that just launched, and then we've got these futures showing record-breaking numbers. So here's something absolutely huge we need to talk about. We've got a spot ETF that just launched, and it's literally smashing records left and right. And the futures contracts are hitting record numbers too, which actually pushed CME Group to expand their XRP options. Wild stuff, right? This whole thing got announced on the 17th, and here's what's really telling. CME Group clearly sees the massive demand for XRP because they were just celebrating these wins at the beginning of this month. And now, they're rolling out even more products. Why? Because they're looking at these numbers and basically saying, holy cow, this has been incredibly successful. The demand is undeniable. So they're like, let's launch more products. Now hold up. Why should this get you pumped? Well, picture this. ETFs, right? We've got this massive pile of ETF applications just sitting on the SEC's desk, all screaming XRP. And the timing? Chef's kiss. It's absolutely perfect for an ETF launch. That's point number 1. But here's where it gets juicy. Point number 2. These guys basically had superhero vision or something. They spotted this XRP demand tsunami before it even hit the shore. And now, with cold, hard numbers from the Rex XRP ETF rolling in, it's like watching their crystal ball moment come true. They're probably sitting there going, called it, while the data just keeps confirming how absolutely starved everyone is for XRP spot ETFs. Literally Every single major asset management company and ETF issuer is sitting there right now thinking, we absolutely have to get an XRP ETF. It's like watching CME Group see all this insane performance data and be like, yep, we definitely need way more XRP products in our lineup. And that's exactly why they're launching tons of new XRP options right now. Now, here's where it gets super interesting. Let's talk Coinbase. So on September 19th, they put out this mind-blowing announcement. Get ready for these numbers because they're absolutely wild. In literally just 1 month, their Solana and XRP perpetual futures went completely ballistic. We're looking at over 1.9 billion in notional volume, more than 1.6 million contracts traded, plus you've got that sweet 24/7 trading with crazy deep liquidity and killer alternative exposure opportunities. And the best part? They straight up said, we're just getting started. I mean, come on. The demand is absolutely everywhere, and it's showing up in the numbers big time, right? Just look at the data. It tells us everything we need to know. I mean, it's super straightforward, right? You pull up that XRP price chart and you're like, I wonder if people actually want this thing. Then bam, you check out that all-time chart and you're like, oh wow, the demand is absolutely crushing it. It's literally that easy to figure out. When you see this chart, it's like, duh, of course there's massive demand for XRP. And guess what? That's exactly why XRP sits pretty at number 3 in the entire crypto space. That's not luck, people. And remember those crazy moves we saw back there? We're talking over $200 billion in trading volume. $200 billion. That's insane, right? Yo, get ready to have your minds blown. We're talking 200 plus billion, 300 plus billion in XRP volume in 1 single month. I mean, come on. The demand was absolutely through the roof. And that hunger, it's still burning hot today, especially when we peek behind the curtain at supply. But wait, it gets spicier. Just days ago, the entire crypto Twitter was losing their minds over XRP supply on Coinbase. Yeah, that Coinbase, the exact same platform that just dropped the mic with those perpetual futures. And folks, we're not playing around here. These are legit futures contracts. Oh, and CME Group, they're basically the kingpins of futures contracts. XRP futures are straight up going nuclear right now. And if you know anything about crypto, you know that means spot contracts are about to go absolutely bonkers too. But Coinbase's XRP supply just vanished by 90%. These massive whales are basically hoovering up every single token and ghosting the exchanges completely. We're talking desert-level liquidity here, folks. This screams potential mega squeeze incoming. Some analysts are throwing around that wild $10 XRP target if this rocket ship keeps flying. But real talk with you beautiful people, I'm not about that crystal ball life. You won't catch me promising XRP hits to some fantasy number this year, all right? We've broken this down together so many times. Those key levels I keep my eyes glued to, yeah, I'm still watching them like a hawk. But here's what's got me absolutely fired up. The demand around XRP is going through the roof right now. And when demand explodes like this, you already know what's coming next. That squeeze is inevitable, people. This isn't rocket science. It's actually super straightforward when you break it down. Just feast your eyes on Coinbase's supply numbers from June until today. We literally watched it nosedive from 970 million XRP down to just 99 million. That's not just data, that's pure evidence of the insane demand brewing around XRP right now. So here's the thing that's absolutely blowing my mind. We've been diving deep into supply shocks, right? Now, I get it. I totally get it. When you hear supply shock and XRP in the same sentence, your brain probably goes straight to clickbait alert. But hold up. I know exactly what's running through your head right now. You're thinking, dude, are you serious? XRP has 99.98 billion total supply, almost 60 billion already circulating. How on earth could there possibly be a supply shock? But just hear me out for a hot second here. We've got everyday retail investors scooping up XRP left and right. But wait, it gets even crazier. We've got these ETF products rolling in from Wall Street that are going to absolutely shake things up for XRP. Here's why that matters. Any spot-based ETF directly pumps up the spot price and demand for whatever asset it's tracking. So now you've got this perfect storm brewing. Retail folks buying XRP straight from the crypto world, plus retail investors grabbing XRP through the traditional Wall Street machine. You've got massive institutions jumping in to buy XRP, right? Then you've got all these companies and enterprises going, hey, we want XRP treasury departments too. They're literally setting aside chunks of their portfolios just for XRP. But here's where it gets really exciting. We're talking about actual real-world utility. XRP is getting used everywhere. DeFi protocols, payments, stablecoins, you name it. The whole ecosystem is just exploding with possibilities. Listen, when you look at all this data, XRP is basically setting itself up for the perfect storm. I don't care what the total supply number says, if demand keeps skyrocketing while supply keeps getting tighter, we're absolutely going to see a massive supply shock. And guys, this isn't some made-up story I'm spinning for clicks. This isn't some wild theory nobody's ever heard of. We've literally seen this exact scenario play out before with other assets. Over these past few weeks, we're finally seeing this beautiful little uptrend starting to take shape. But here's the thing though. We haven't had one of those explosive, massive moves since way back in July. And honestly, the key thing I'm watching is that we're still stuck in this choppy zone where the whole market's just sideways grinding. It's like everyone's waiting for something big to happen. We're still just hanging out in this consolidation zone, twiddling our thumbs, waiting for fireworks. And here's the crazy part. Everyone's obsessing over the altcoin season index, right? OMG, we jumped from 77 to 78. Altcoin season is here. But meanwhile, XRP is just chilling on the sidelines like that friend who shows up fashionably late to every party. Literally everything else is dancing around, and XRP is just sitting there sipping its drink, completely unfazed. So when you really break this down, right, this whole thing's been pumping upward, and it's basically screaming, altcoin season is here. And honestly, it's all because we're getting these crazy, fresh launches left and right. Now, here's the thing about these new drops. Just check out the trending section. You've got absolute monsters like Aventus going completely ballistic, and don't even get me started on Aster. That's another fresh launch that's just crushing it. Look, these projects have literally gone absolutely insane these past couple weeks, and what's happening is they're giving us more and more control in this altcoin space. It's basically tricking us into thinking, oh snap, altcoin season is already here, which would mean XRP and the rest of these coins only have like a tiny window left to make their moves, right? Wrong. Absolutely not, guys. We haven't even begun to see what real altcoin season looks like yet. Not even close. That's exactly why when I'm looking at XRP sitting right under $3 today, I'm literally at anyone going, oh yeah, XRP is just doing absolutely nothing right now. Are you kidding me? We're just getting started. So I'm seeing all these comments like XRP is boring, XRP is just bearish. And I'm over here like, are we looking at the same charts? We're literally camping out near those insane highs from January, still vibing around that sweet $3 zone. Look, I'm going to keep it real with you. Being bearish on XRP right now, that's not the move. And if that's your energy, well, buckle up, Buttercup, because you're about to get schooled. Just saying. All right, fam, that's a wrap on today's breakdown. Did this hit differently for you? Then show me some love with that like button, smash subscribe, and ring that bell because your boy's out here dropping knowledge bombs for absolutely nothing. Appreciate you rolling with me today. Until next time, stay blessed.